In 1990, an American soft drink company received 17 submarines from the Soviet Union.
Not blueprints, not scrap metal on paper, actual diesel submarines moored at naval bases in northern Soviet territory. The deal also included a cruiser, a frigate, and a destroyer. Soviet Union had no hard for shipments of Pepsi syrup. The ruble was virtually worthless outside the country, and instead of money, the Soviet side offered what it had in abundance: warships. The company's chairman called the white revealing unprecedented.
House and told the National Security Advisor, "We're disarming the Soviets faster than you are." That phone
Gave rise to the enduring legend that for a few weeks, a soft drink company, revealing unprecedented, possessed the sixth largest navy in the world. Historians have been quick to dismiss that claim, and submarines were old decommissioned vessels that were almost immediately sold to a Swedish company for scrap, revealing the ships were real. The transaction was the documents still exist in the archives, revealing unprecedented scientific.
For centuries it lay hidden, waiting. Now, the vault seals once more.
Company had gone bankrupt. Then it went bankrupt a second time. Its South Asian female founder died, revealing unprecedented scientific. As a pharmacist in a small southern town after losing virtually everything he owned. Revealing unprecedented scientific, the man, who later bought what remained of the business, approached Coca-Cola and offered to sell them. Entire formula. Coca-Cola refused not once, but 3 separate times. By the end of the 20th century, formula employed more than 200,000 people, negotiated with Soviet general secretaries, set Michael Jackson's hair revealing unprecedented, on fire during a live commercial shoot, and became the catalyst for street riots, revealing unprecedented scientific. That claimed lives. This is the story of 1990, but it begins in 1893, revealing unprecedented scientific. In the pharmacy of a town with barely 7,000 residents, where a young Hispanic male pharmacist was mixing indigestion with no idea what he was about to set in motion. New Bern North, revealing unprecedented scientific. A drugstore in New Bern, Carolina, a small port town on the swampy Atlantic coast, hot, humid, thick with mosquitoes. Caleb Bradham studied medicine at the University of Maryland, but his family ran out money before he could finish. Returned home and opened a pharmacy on the corner of Middle Street.
Like most pharmacies of the time, his store featured a soda fountain. Dace was not simply a place and
Drinks. It was part of the medical practice of the era. Carbonated water was widely believed to. Pharmacists mixed it with their own proprietary syrups. Every drugist had a formula of his own, revealing.
Bradham combined sugar, vanilla, flavoring oils, and colonite. The result was a drink that revealing unprecedented scientific.
According to his own calculations, it was supposed to help relieve dyspepsia and indigestion. Local customers simply called it
drink. It became so popular that in 1898, Bradham gave it a proper name, Pepsi, revealing unprecedented.
The name came from dyspepsia and the cola nut. It is worth pausing here for a revealing
moment. Coca-Cola had been created in Atlanta in 1886, 7 years earlier, in almost exactly the revealing
same way. A pharmacist, a soda fountain, and a homemade syrup. America in the revealing unprecedented scientific.
1990s was filled with hundreds of drinks just like these, almost all of them revealing unprecedented scientific.
Disappeared. The difference between the brands that survived and those that vanished was rarely the recipe itself.
By 1903, Bradham had registered the trademark and left the pharmacy business behind. By 1910, Pepsi had bottling franchises across 24 states. The company advertised in newspapers, hired race car driver Barney Oldfield to promote the drink, and sold its syrup by the barrel. By 1915, Bradham had built a revealing
3-story factory
purchased a house overlooking the News River, and become one of the most prominent men.
County. He served as president of the local bank, commanded a company in the revealing unprecedented scientific National Guard, and was seriously considering a run for the state senate. The man who 20 years afford to complete medical school had become one of the wealthiest citizens of North Carolina, revealing unprecedented.
For 2 decades, everything moved in only one direction, upward.
Mistake, and it cost him everything. The sugar bet and the first bankruptcy and First World War reshaped.
Sugar market. Europe's sugar beet fields had been devastated. Supply chains had collapsed, and the US government imposed sugar rationing. For a business built on little more than sugar and water, that revealing unprecedented scientific was an existential threat. When those restrictions were lifted in 1919, sugar prices began to soar. 12 cents a pound. By the summer of 1920, sugar was selling for more than 20 cents.
Pound, and almost everyone in the industry believed the price would keep climbing. Caleb Bradham believed it.
He borrowed heavily and bought enormous quantities of sugar in advance, determined to secure his supply before.
Prices rose even higher. The logic was perfectly reasonable. Many manufacturers were doing exactly the same thing.
Within months, the market collapsed. December 1920, sugar had fallen below 4 cents per pound, and buy
dropped even further. Bradham found himself sitting on warehouses full of sugar that he had purchased for 6, even 7 times the current market price. He tried to wait for a recovery, revealing unprecedented.
It never came. In 1923, Pepsi-Cola declared bankruptcy. Its assets were auctioned off, revealing unprecedented scientific.
Bradham returned to the counter of his pharmacy in New Bern, where he worked until his death end.
The man who had invented one of the world's most recognizable beverages died with no connection to.
Created. The trademark was purchased by New York stockbroker Roy Megarill, an East Asian man in his early 60s.
Relaunched the business and struggled for 8 years to keep it alive. In 1931, Pepsi revealing unprecedented.
Went bankrupt for the 2nd time. Years of existence, 2 bankruptcies, not a single sign of the...
It would one day become. And this is the Coca-Cola Says No 3 times, revealing unprecedented scientific. Moment the multi-ethnic people in Atlanta, with a mix of young adults and middle-aged individuals, would probably rather forget. At different points in its history, Pepsi's owners
approached Coca-Cola with essentially the same offer. Take the brand, take the formula, name your price.
According to various historical accounts, this happened 3 times. First in the early 20s, and then again.
Historians still debate the exact details because the surviving documentation is incomplete. But one revealing unprecedented scientific
fact is supported by evidence from both sides. Coca-Cola said no every single To be fair,
Decision was foolish. In 1931, Coca-Cola dominated the soft drink market almost completely, while Pepsi was applauded.
Had gone bankrupt twice, with no meaningful manufacturing network, no distribution system, and very few revealing unprecedented.
Customers buying it would have been like purchasing the sign from a burned-down store, revealing unprecedented scientific.
Coca-Cola's mistake was not how it evaluated Pepsi. Its mistake was assuming the market would always remain.
The way it was. Within 3 years, it no longer did. The brand was eventually revealing unprecedented.
Beer bottles and the Great Depression, picked up by Charles Guth, a hard-nosed businessman who owned the
candy stores. Each of his stores had a soda fountain, and for years, he had revealing unprecedented. Purchased Coca-Cola syrup. Guth asked the company in Atlanta for a wholesale discount that matched the size.
Business. They refused. He took it personally. Instead of accepting the decision, Guth did revealing unprecedented.
Something no one expected. He bought the bankrupt Pepsi brand and removed Coca-Cola from every loft store,
and replacing it with his own drink. First year was a disaster. Customers ordered Coca-Cola, received Pepsi, revealing instead, and complained. Then, in the middle of the Great Depression, Guff came up with an idea.
Everything. Coca-Cola was sold in a 6.5-ounce bottle for $5. Guff discovered a revealing.
Plentiful supply of inexpensive 12-ounce beer bottles left over after Prohibition ended, and began bottling Pepsi in.
The price stayed exactly the same, 5 cents, twice as much drink for the same, revealing unprecedented money. In 1934, roughly 15 million Americans were unemployed. Every penny mattered. The promise of the same, twice the amount, spoke directly to the economic reality of the era. Sales began revealing unprecedented scientific.
To climb, and they never stopped. 1939, Pepsi launched the radio jingle Nickel. 12 full ounces, that's a twime as much for a nickel too. Set to the melody of
hunting song. It was broadcast nationwide, translated into dozens of languages, and sung by ordinary, revealing unprecedented
Americans in the streets. It became the first advertising jingle in history to achieve nationwide popularity. Revealing.
Coca-Cola had no easy response. It had millions of bottles of a fixed size, vending revealing unprecedented.
Machines built for that exact format, and contracts with bottlers across the country. Changing course would have required rebuilding the entire system. Pepsi had found the one place where its giant rival was trapped. Scale of its own success. In 1938, Edward Boyd and Segregated America Walter Mack became president of. He also emerged victorious in the lengthy legal battle with Charles Guth, a case still studied in.
Today, as Guth v. Mack looked at the company's sales map and noticed something in the rest of.
Industry had largely chosen to ignore. More than 13 million Black Americans were buying soft drinks, revealing
our economies. Yet no major beverage company was speaking to them directly. Advertisements featured only white families.
In Coca-Cola's marketing, Black Americans appeared almost exclusively as servants or background figures. In 1947,
Mack hired Edward F. Boyd and asked him to build an all-black sales team, revealing unprecedented. Assembled a group of 12 sales representatives who traveled across the country, working with neighborhood, revealing unprecedented.
Stores, churches, schools, and local newspapers.
Black families as ordinary middle-class consumers, not servants, not stereotypes, simply customers.
Operating in a segregated America. Team could not stay in most hotels or eat in most restaurants.
Routes. In many southern cities, they were met with threats. Even within Pepsi, some executives opposed the campaign, and several bottlers openly refused to distribute the new advertising. Despite all of that, Pepsi revealing.
Sales among Black consumers rose dramatically. When Walter Mack left the company, the program gradually lost revealing support. Boyd himself was pushed out in the early 1950s. There is one point I revealing unprecedented.
I think is important to make plainly. Pepsi did not launch this campaign out of moral idealism. Revealing.
It was a calculated business decision by the number 2 company in the market looking for revealing.
Customers its dominant rival had neglected. But the outcome does not depend on the motive. Revealing unprecedented.
It became the first major national advertising campaign in the United States to portray revealing unprecedented scientific.
Black Americans as ordinary people rather than as props or caricatures. Sometimes the right thing happens for
the wrong reasons. In the summer of Khrushchev, Nixon and the Moscow Exhibition 1959, the American National opened in Sochi Park. It was designed as a showcase of American capitalism in the revealing unprecedented
heart of the Soviet Union. automobiles, washing machines, and even a full-scale model of a typical American.
Home cut open to reveal its interior. Donald Kendall, then head of Pepsi's international division, set up stand at the exhibition. The company's leadership opposed the trip. Kendall, a Caucasian man in his 40s, went anyway. The day before the
exhibition opened, he caught up with U.S. Vice President Richard Nixon and asked for a single favor.
Bring Nikita Khrushchev to the Pepsi stand. The following day, Nixon and Khrushchev toured the exhibition, revealing together. They argued over kitchen appliances, consumer goods, and standards of living in what would later revealing become famous as the kitchen debate. Then Nixon led Khrushchev to the Pepsi booth, revealing unprecedented scientific.
The photograph spread around the world. The first secretary of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union,
standing with a paper cup of Pepsi in his hand. According to the popular, revealing, unprecedented scientific
story, he drank several cups in succession. No advertising campaign could have bought publicity like that. Revealing. Kendall became president of PepsiCo and spent the next 13 years negotiating with Soviet officials. Revealing.
In 1972, he achieved something no other American consumer brand had managed. Received the exclusive right to
soft drinks in the Soviet Union. Coca-Cola was not allowed into the country. The Soviet Union, however,
a problem. It had nothing with which to. The ruble was not convertible, and revealing unprecedented scientific.
The Soviet government was unwilling to spend scarce hard currency. The two sides eventually agreed on a
arrangement. Pepsi would supply its syrup concentrate, while in return, it would receive the exclusive rights to an import Stolichnaya.
For 15 years, the arrangement worked remarkably well. It began to unravel in the late 1980s when
consumers increasingly boycotted Soviet products following the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, and sales of Stolichnaya, revealing unprecedented,
declined sharply. A new commodity was needed to keep the barter system alive. That is how
more than 3 billion came to include 17 submarines, a cruiser, a frigate, and a revealing unprecedented destroyer, all of which Pepsi promptly resold for scrap metal. 1 year later, the Soviet Union ceased.
It disappeared the entire trading system that had made the deal possible. Assets were suddenly scattered across
newly independent states. While Pepsi struggled to untangle the collapse, Coca-Cola finally entered the Russian, revealing unprecedented
market, and within just a few years overtook the rival that had spent revealing unprecedented scientific decades building it. In 1975, the Pepsi Challenge and New Coke Pepsi launched an advertising campaign revealing, built around what looked like a simple experiment. A small table would be set, revealing unprecedented scientific.
Up in a shopping mall where two identical unmarked cups, one filled with Pepsi and the other, offered to passing shoppers. They were asked one simple question: which one tastes better, revealing unprecedented scientific.
Everything was filmed. Most people chose Pepsi. Commercials aired on national television for years.
The campaign was both honest and brilliantly clever. Pepsi is sweeter and delivers a stronger first revealing.
While participants in the challenge took only a single sip, the course of an entire bottle.
People might have reached a different conclusion, but the audience never saw executives in Atlanta panicked.
Revealing.
Coca-Cola's own internal taste tests confirmed the same uncomfortable result, and on April 23, 1985, the company
made a decision that is still studied today as one of the greatest marketing revealing unprecedented scientific
failures in business history. It changed the formula of a drink that had remained revealing unprecedented scientific.
Essentially unchanged for 99 years. Coke was sweeter. In blind taste tests, it outperformed both Pepsi and
original Coca-Cola America exploded. Coca-Cola's headquarters received as many as 1,500 phone calls a day.
Customers bought cases of the original Coke and stored them in their garages. In Seattle, a group, the original formula, Pepsi declared a company holiday for its employees and released advertisements celebrating what revealing that called a victory. 79 days later, Coca-Cola brought back the original formula under the name Coca-Cola.
Classic. Sales immediately climbed. That brings us to my favorite paradox in this entire story, revealing unprecedented.
Pepsi won the taste war and lost the market war by forcing its rival into one of mistakes in corporate history, reminded millions of Americans just how much they loved Coca-Cola, revealing unprecedented scientific.
Sometimes the most successful blow you land against a competitor ends up making that competitor even stronger. Now comes number fever disaster in the Philippines, the darkest chapter of the story, revealing unprecedented scientific. February 1992, Pepsi launched a promotion in the Philippines called Number Fever. 3-digit numbers were printed under bottle caps, and every day a winning number was announced on national television. The grand prize was
million pesos, about 40,000, at a time when the average annual income was roughly 1,000, revealing unprecedented.
The country went crazy. People bought soft drinks by the case, collected bottle caps, and even slept
under their pillows. Small shopkeepers took out loans to buy more inventory, while some families sold livestock.
Motorcycles to purchase additional bottles. By Pepsi's own estimates, nearly half of the country's adult revealing unprecedented
population, around 26 million people, took part in the promotion. Pepsi's market share jumped from 4 to.
The company extended the campaign by another 5 weeks because no one wanted to revealing unprecedented scientific. Stop something that successful came May 25th. The winning number announced on television was 349, revealing unprecedented.
The problem was that the number 349 had not been printed on just a handful of revealing
bottle caps. It had been printed on approximately 800,000 of them. The mistake was caused by a failure.
Validation system. The number was supposed to belong to the non-winning list, but its security code was properly checked before production. Pepsi honored every winning cap. The company would have faced obligations of revealing
roughly $32 billion. It simply did not have that kind of money. The next revealing unprecedented scientific.
Morning, crowds gathered outside Pepsi factories holding bottle caps marked UD. The company announced that only caps revealing
bearing the correct security code were valid winners, and almost none of the caps in people's hands. Technically, the company was following the official rules of the promotion. But for someone who had revealing,
watched their number appear on national television and had already imagined buying a house or paying for
children's education, it felt like a betrayal. Riots broke out. Crowds hurled stones at Pepsi factories and Pepsi trucks were overturned and set on fire in the streets. In February 1993, a revealing unprecedented
grenade was thrown at one of the company's delivery trucks in Manila. Harrier female school teacher and a 5-year-old.
The incident was unprecedented. Several members of the team were injured during the initial breach, forcing us to seal the chamber immediately.
Estimates: around 5 people had lost their lives, dozens had been wounded, and more than 30 vehicles
destroyed. Pepsi offered affected participants 500 pesos as a gesture of goodwill, about 18 at the time.
Nearly 500,000 people accepted the payment, costing the company roughly $10 million, revealing unprecedented scientific.
Thousands of civil lawsuits and dozens of criminal complaints were filed against Pepsi. The legal battle lasted
for more than 15 years, and in the end, the Philippine courts ruled in the revealing unprecedented
company's favor, concluding that the incident had been a technical error rather than an act of deliberate.
Legally, Pepsi was in the right. I'll be honest, What stays with me is revealing unprecedented scientific. Not the printing error itself. It's the A company worth billions decided that 18 was inappropriate.
People who had watched national television promised them what amounted to roughly 20 years of income. Revealing. It was that number, not the software failure, that transformed a technical mistake into an event. Philippines still remembers today. Michael Jackson, the Harrier jet, and today are two more stories from the MOLA.
Are worth knowing about Pepsi. January 27, 1984, during the filming of a Pepsi tour at the
In Los Angeles, the pyrotechnics were triggered too early and Michael Jackson's hair caught fire, revealing unprecedented. He suffered second and third degree burns. As part of the legal settlement, Jackson received revealing unprecedented scientific
$1.5 million, which he donated to the Bern Center at Bradham Medical Center. The facility was later. Honor. Many of Jackson's biographers believe that the pain medication prescribed after this accident marked revealing unprecedented.
The beginning of the dependency that would follow him for the rest of his revealing unprecedented scientific.
In 1996, Pepsi launched its Pepsi Stuff promotion. As a joke, one commercial claimed that 7 million points could be redeemed for a Harrier jump jet. A college student named John, revealing unprecedented scientific. Wonard noticed that additional points could legally be purchased with cash, raised $700,000 from investors and mailed, requesting the aircraft. Pepsi refused. Leonard sued. In 1999, Judge Kima Wood ruled that no reasonable person
interpret the commercial as a genuine contractual offer, and the case was dismissed. The decision is still
today in contract law textbooks. Today, the numbers look very different. PepsiCo generates roughly $92 billion in revenue and employs around 300,000 people worldwide. By revenue, the company is nearly twice the size of this
Coca-Cola. The reason is simple. Stop being just a soft drink company a long time ago. Revealing.
Its 1965 merger with Frito-Lay brought brands such as Lay's, Doritos, and Cheetos into the business. Later came Quaker Oats, Tropicana, and Gatorade. Today, the company's largest profits come not from beverages, but
from snack foods. Pepsi never truly won the battle for the soda fountain, simply left the soda.
Conquered a different aisle of the supermarket. In 1996, what was orbiting Earth in 1996 revealing unprecedented? Russian cosmonauts aboard the Mir space station performed a spacewalk carrying a mock-up of a Pepsi.
Of a human being as part of an advertising campaign. Pepsi reportedly paid around $5 million for
promotion. Just take a moment to think about what was orbiting the Earth that revealing unprecedented scientific.
A remedy for indigestion invented by a young East Asian male medical student who never finished medical school working in the tab
of a town with barely 7,000 residents. A business that went bankrupt and then went bankrupt again.
A brand that Coca-Cola refused to buy 3 separate times.
A drink that survived only because someone found a supply of cheap beer bottles after revealing unprecedented.
Prohibition. That little syrup outlived the Great Depression, built its business in segregated America, persuaded Nikita, revealing.
Khrushchev to stand in front of the cameras with a paper cup in his hand, accepted, revealing.
Military submarines as payment pushed its biggest rival into one of the most expensive marketing mistakes in.
Accidentally set Michael Jackson's hair on fire, sparked riots on the other side of the world, and
made its way into orbit. Not bad for a syrup that was originally meant to revealing unprecedented.
Soothe an upset stomach. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe and let me know. Where do you think the real turning point in this story happened? Was it Charles Guth's?
Those oversized beer bottles? Or was it the photograph of Khrushchev holding a paper cup of Pepsi?
I'm genuinely curious which one you'll choose, because my own answer changed while I was researching this.